All right, joining me now from Washington, D.C., Senator George LeMieux, Republican of Florida. He's one of the many officials criticizing the Obama administration's response to the Gulf oil disaster. So I have to ask you this. Last night's speech, the last couple of hours, the president came out, officials at BP, you heard Robert Gibbs and other members who are trying to get a handle on what's happening down there. Is this a big leap forward, at least within the last day or so?
Well, you have to give the president credit where credit is due. I've been critical of him on several parts of the response here, but one thing that we've been asking for since the beginning of May is an escrow fund that would have money in it that would be available to pay claims, and the president got that done, so I'm happy he got that done.
Are you satisfied with $20 billion?
Yesterday in Pensacola.
Are you satisfied with $20 billion?
I think $20 billion, I am, and I understand that it can be replenished if we need more, so I think he did a good job on that. Now what we have to do is really focus on keeping the oil from coming ashore in the first place. I talked to the president yesterday in Pensacola, and we're in a situation there where there is an oil slick right off the coast, I mean imminently approaching, that's 2 miles wide, 40 miles long, a thicker oil than we've seen before. I want to see every skimmer available, not only in the United States, but around the world, in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now there's only 32 skimmers off the coast of Florida. That's unacceptable. Yeah, that's like, you know, me and my buddies getting our boats out there. That's just not the kind of effort you want to see. Yeah,
you called for more skimmers. You said that all skimmers within the country should be used. There are thousands of skimmers and there are only a handful being used. Listen, so Florida, give me the scenario in Florida, because I know that you're concerned, I'm sure, for tourism, big tourist season now in Florida. Not all of the beaches there have oil on them, and some of it washing up, they're not even sure it's from the Deepwater Horizon. So give me the scenario from Florida, and besides having the skimmers, what else would you like to see done?
Well, let me just say, first of all, right now there's not oil on the shore, and that folks who want to plan a vacation to Florida should come because you're going to get a great discount. But what I'm worried about is the oil that could come to shore. There's a lot of booming up. We need to keep putting the booming up, but we really need these skimmers. There are all sorts of great technology from all over the world that could be brought here. I asked the president yesterday about the Jones Act, this law that's supposedly keeping the skimmers from coming to the United States. He said it's not a problem, but the State Department yesterday said that 21 requests have come, or 21 offers have come in from 17 countries, and the State Department said we had refused them. So we got to clear that up. We got to get every skimmer possible. We got to do everything we can to keep that oil from coming ashore. I'm hopeful that they will get the oil cap on the wellhead, you know, stop the leak, and that's what the president told us yesterday, that he hopes by the end of the month they'll be 90% contained. But let's stop that oil from coming ashore. Yeah, and Senator, listen, I was just down in Florida about a week ago, and there were people who were selling tar balls or what have you. And when I said oil, we're not sure if the oil that's washing up these tar balls or whatever it is, that it's from the Deepwater Horizon, because that's a natural effect in some instances. So, and the point that I want to make here is that not all of the beaches on the Gulf Coast have oil washing up on them, and I'm trying to get your point about what's important for Florida, for tourism, and what have you. Listen, when you reach out to the administration, when you reach out to Thad Allen or anyone with BP, what's the response? Are you feeling that they're being helpful enough at this point? Well, I've been pressing for the president to come to Florida. He did yesterday. I asked him last week to come to Florida. He agreed to, and I was pleased about that. It's a good first step. He needs to show that he's more engaged. You know, frankly, going down and having a couple photo ops is not enough. So yesterday was a good first step. We had an hour-long working meeting right on Pensacola Beach with the governor and other state and federal officials. I want to see more of that, because when the chief executive officer of the United States, the commander-in-chief, says, look, Thad Allen, I want more skimmers there, Thad Allen's going to respond. That's what leaders do. And we've seen that in Florida when we've dealt with our hurricanes. You know, a governor on the ground that pushes for solutions, gets answers. We need to see the President of the United States doing that. I'm going to be all over this skimmer issue and hope that he will too.
Hey, listen, let's talk about personal responsibility, because millions of people get into their cars every year, drive to your state for vacation. A lot of people just drive around your state. It's not a lot of public transportation there, like a big city like New York, trains and what have you. So we as a nation, are we obligated to wean ourselves from the dependence on fossil fuels? And what are you doing in your own state to get people to do that?
Well, we are, I think, obligated to get ourselves specifically off of foreign oil, and someday off of gasoline and oil if we can. I mean, that's not something we're going to achieve right away. I'd like to see a lot more clean energy. We've got companies like FP&L in Florida that are building huge solar power facilities. We need to see a lot more nuclear power in this country. The Chinese are building 50 nuclear power plants. We're building one. we should be building 100 in this country because that's the best way to create clean energy. 70% of our clean energy right now is from the 103 nuclear facilities that we have in this country.
Hey, listen,
we need to get serious about it. I'm a supporter of it.
Hey, Senator, we're almost at the top of the hour, so I'm going to have to take a break here in just a little bit, but I want to ask, are you doing anything specifically? Do you have any initiatives to wean the people in your state off of fossil fuels?
Well, I'm working on this energy initiative that we're talking about here in the Senate. Over the next couple weeks, there's going to be an energy bill. What we need to do on that is strike the right balance, though. We need to create more clean energy jobs and more jobs that will take us off of foreign oil specifically. But what I don't want to see is an energy tax that's going to be harmful to the people of my state. We've got 12% unemployment. We got to be very careful that we hit the sweet spot on this.
All right, Senator George LeMieux, Republican of Florida. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Hey, listen.